Namaskar, Apunar Ki Khobor. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. Now, tracking the first phase of general elections, we've reached Assam. This is Dibrugarh. One of the world's finest tea is found here. If you look at the political contest in Dibrugarh, the BJP and AJP is in the alliance with the Congress, the India Alliance, are taking on one another. Aam Aadmi Party is also in the fray. As we dive into the political battlefield of Assam in this program, Poll Pulse, we'll try to seek answers to some very pertinent questions. I'll list those questions to you first. How will the opposition counter Modi ki guarantee? Question 2. What is the development plan vision for Assam and the larger Northeast as far as the general elections are concerned? Question 3. What is in store for the tea plantation workers? They're hugely important electorate if you talk about Dibrugarh, if you talk about Assam in particular. And finally, there are very critical issues like the CAA. What is the impact going to be in these general elections? Well, that and much more. But before we delve into the question and answer and engagement, let's take a look at this special audio visual which traces the beauty of Dibrugarh and what is at stake in the elections this year. Amidst the hustle and bustle of election campaigning and coverage, who wouldn't like a tea break? What is special about this cup of chai is that I'm standing next to the garden where it is produced. We are in Assam. This is the Tea City of India. Welcome to Dibrugarh. The sprawling tea gardens of Dibrugarh and adjoining districts produce some of the finest tea in the world. While tea cultivation is a backbone of the region's economy, the voice of 7 million strong tea workers community traditionally constitutes an important political force in the state.
আমার বগানৰ ৰাস্তাও মানে বেয়া আছে কেতিয়াবা ৰাতি হুলাই আহিলে আমি বগান দিয়ে বগান হাসপাতাল লৈ যাব লগিয়া হয় বেমাৰী হলে মানে পেশেন্ট উলালে তো ৰাস্তাবোৰ আমাৰ ভাল নহয় এটুই আমাক লাগে ৰাস্তাটো ঠিক কৰি দিলে আমাৰ ওচৰতে হাসপাতাল আছে পেশেন্টক লৈ যাব কাৰণে ভাল হ'ব
The northeastern state of Assam is going into polls in 3 phases. Dibrugarh, along with 4 other districts, Kaziranga, Sonitpur, Lakhimpur and Jorhat are part of the Upper Assam region and will vote in the first phase of elections on April 19th. Assam has 14 Lok Sabha seats, the highest in any northeastern state. Once a Congress stronghold in the northeast, it is the BJP that has fortified its presence in Assam. Led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in 2014, BJP scored 7 out of 14 seats. In 2019, it improved its score to 9 seats out of 14. This is 2024. Can the Congress alliance lead a fight back, or will the Modi juggernaut be unstoppable? Only voters can decide. Travelling through Dibrugarh, we catch a glimpse of the beauty of rural Assam. Young boys and girls practicing traditional Bihu dance on the banks of mighty Brahmaputra. Campaigning for the first phase of elections in Assam is coinciding with Bohag Bihu festivities. The harvest festival marks the advent of the Assamese New Year.
Issues of young people from Dibrugarh are that after doing the graduations, all are going to do they are not getting jobs in the local area like in Dibrugarh or nearby districts and all because there are very less job opportunities in our district, and I would like to ask the government to request them to get some more job opportunities as all the students are going abroad.
While the festival of democracy determines the future of the region and the nation, these youngsters immersed in Bihu celebrations also know how to make the most of their present. With camera person Kumar Datta, Shubhendu Ghosh, DT India, Dibrugarh. Let me now introduce you to the panelists of Poll Pulse Dibrugarh edition. I welcome from the BJP, Rupam Goswami, spokesperson BJP Assam Pradesh. We have with us from AJP, Bedabrata Borah, media panelist from Assam, Jatiyo, Parishad, AJP. From Aam Aadmi Party, we are hoping to have Mr. Soumik Sengupta in a short while from now. He's a little delayed. A senior journalist is also joining us in the panel. Ripunjoy Das, a warm welcome to each of our panelists, and also welcome to a wonderful audience members here. Remember, the pulse in the program, Poll Pulse, is represented by you. So I'll await your questions for our leaders here in the run-up to the elections, the first phase in particular. Let's begin by the opening remarks of the leaders present on the dais. Let's begin the conversation by learning about what is your vision for Dibrugarh, for Assam, and for the Northeast and India. I'll give you 2 minutes to present your vision for the leaders. Rupam, Goswami, why don't we start with you? 2 minutes for the road ahead.
For the first time in the history of India, the BJP this time is fighting an election, or rather you can say the sitting government is fighting an election without any anti-incumbency. And our main agenda is development. The main narrative in this election is development, development, only development. So, till now the response from the public is very good. The people of India already has decided to make Prime Minister Narendra Modi for the 3rd time, and Apki Bar, Sarso Par, and BJP alone will get 370 seats. That is what our assessment is. Because you know, to win elections, you need a very strong organization setup, which we have. As on date, we have, you know, the page inserts. Now this time we have done more deeper organization setup, page committee. Previously we used to have one person in charge of a page, that means your voter list, where 60 voters are there. But this time we are going for a committee. That means a person is handling 2 or 3 houses. That means 10 to 12 voters.
Rupamji, 2 minutes are going to be concluded.
Okay.
I want to talk about
So
what are you going to do for the people also.
There will be a huge win for the BJP across India.
Let's turn to AJP, Bedabrata Borah. Present to us your vision in brief. Why should people vote for AJP Congress India Alliance?
So I think this election will be fought on 2 factors. One is the national factor, and the other one is the factor that affects our region, and in particular Assam. So in terms of the national issue, we have a narrative that has been built that everything is fantastic about India. But we have seen a lot of skeletons crumbling out. For example, the electoral bond issue. We have also hate speech and communal speech. These things are taking center stage. We have every issue is now converted into a communal narrative. No, these are things that we have to fight. We are told about the 5 trillion economy, but we are not talking about the per capita income of our people. What about the jobs? Are we creating enough jobs for our people? And reports of credible international journals are, posing questions about the freedom of the press and so on.
If I may just add that I understand the points that you are making against the government also challenging, but what is going to be the alternative vision? People here, people watching this program on television, on mobile phones, would also like to know what is the kind of India that India Alliance is planning to put together.
So we need to first identify that these are the problems, which is why I was listing out the problems.
Sure.
This is just a broad overview of the problems. Now we have to fight that so that people are getting enough jobs. We have to create, we have to think differently about creating more jobs for the people in order to, in terms of Assam. And the reason we have to talk about creating jobs, the rural economy, we have to improve our rural economy, and do we have a plan in place for that? Does the government have a plan for that? We do have. And we also need to talk about how to preserve our culture, language, and traditions,
Okay.
and which is being crushed by bringing the CAA, which is being imposed on us. We had a lot of agitation against that, but after that, because of the gag, nobody has been able to speak about it. So these are issues. And in terms of Dibrugarh, for example, we have to talk about the issues of wages for the labor, tea estate laborers, and about their living conditions, education, healthcare. Healthcare is a major issue. Healthcare and education is a major issue for Assam, and also joblessness.
Okay, we'll try and come to each of these themes that you both have listed.
Sure.
Let me turn to my ally in the panel, Ripunjoy. For our audiences, if you can simplify the political landscape of Assam, what does the mandate for Assam and the larger Northeast mean for these general elections?
If we talk about the general elections in the Northeast in general, there are 25 seats. So that that is not comparable to the landmass we have. As for example, in Arunachal, we have only the biggest state in the entire Northeast, but we have only 2 representation in the Lok Sabha. So the voices from the Northeast gets somewhere diluted in the Lok Sabha or in the mainstream, whatever you quote unquote. So, but the issues remain the same. There are issues related to governance. There are issues related to major build-up sector. There are issues related to our international borders, which are very sensitive, because Northeast we share a long border with China, Myanmar, Bhutan and Bangladesh. So these are quite important in nature, due to which this entire issue of foreigners issue and whatever you talk that has emerged. Now coming to the governance part, yes, no doubt, the last year the center has done a lot of things. Particularly I would like to say that in terms of communication, I have traveled a lot to the state of Arunachal Pradesh and Nagaland also. In terms of communication, road connectivity, bridges, you talk about the Bogeybill Bridge, you talk about the Dhola Sodia Bridge, you talk about the Alubari Bridge in Tezu. That connectivity has improved faster, but there are still several issues which are of concern. So, if we talk about the larger picture in the entire Northeast and then come down to Assam and then come down to Dibrugarh, there are the issues remain almost the same. The people are concerned of better connectivity. We still talk about proper connectivity through our mobiles. We don't have, if you move out of Dibrugarh, just 20-25 kilometers, you don't have your mobile connectivity. These are certain issues which needs to be addressed. And there are also issues, as one of the gentlemen has rightly pointed out, related to the tea garden population. See, Soumik, the first phase of election which are going to be held on April 19, there are 5 constituencies: Sonitpur, Lakhimpur, Dibrugarh, Jorhat and Kaziranga. Or in this constituency, there are almost 30 to 40% who are the tea garden voters. Around, so they are, in other terms, you can say the deciding factor in these constituencies. It's not that representation is not there. The current dispensation also they have given representation. But that main issue of wages, main issues of health in the tea garden sector, main issues of education, that has been taken up. I don't deny the fact that that has not been addressed by the previous government, particularly the 10 years of Modi governance.
Invaluable points there. Let's now look at the report card of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government. It's been 10 years of governance. BJP also rules the state. The BJP government is there in Assam as well. Rupam, how do you look at the key achievements? You would say there are many, but here in Assam, sitting in Dibrugarh, what would you list as your key achievement that gives you the confidence that the mandate will come back for Prime Minister Modi?
You know, for the first time, any government are coming with a report card. This is a Purbodaya, specially made for Northeast. What this Modi government has done for the Northeast. And we are into the public. So just I want to tell you some of few points, just a comparison. You know, in budget allocation, in 2013-14, UPA budget allocation was 1830 crores. In 2022-23, NDA budget allocation was 2755.05 crores, almost 50.5% hike in the budget allocation. If you look into the average annual budget allocation to the railway sector, UPA in 2009-14 was 2122 crores, and NDA 2014-22 was 9970 crores. So you can just imagine.
So I see the difference in budget, but again, highlights.
I'll tell
But
you.
the highlights that you'd like to
I'm coming,
focus on.
I'm coming on today.
Yeah.
This already Mr. Das has said about the Dhala Khodia bridge and that
Infrastructure.
bill. It was long back put on hold. As soon as Modi came in the power, he started and he completed. Because there were lots of this type of projects across India. And Modi came first, his work was complete all pending works. Assam has been doing agitation for doubling of railway track, electrification of railway track. For refinery, we got it through agitations. Bridge over Brahmaputra, we got it through agitations. Now, without agitations, we are getting lots of bridges on Brahmaputra. We are getting doubling of railway track. We are getting electrification of railway track. And moreover, you know, after Modi came in power, in Assam only, 30,000 kilometer roads were built up. I just want to give you one more comparison.
Just the broad figures, then I'll go to counter.
Just national waterways. In 1947 to 2013, there was only one. Now, 2014 to 2022-17. And you know, the candidate from this Lok Sabha, Sarbanand Sonowal, is the man behind it. So, again, railway route, UPA 2004 to 13 is 29 kilometer, NDA 2014 to 22 is 204 kilometer. Almost.
I get that point about the infrastructure change. Any main point that you want to mention? And then
the violence. The main is violence, you know. Because Northeast has a big market of Southeast Asia. Honorable Modi always keep on telling Asta Lakshmi, because there are 100 crores population in Southeast Asia. 76% reduction in insurgency incidents. 97% reduction in civilian casualty. 90% reduction in security forces. Just small figures I am giving you, because these figures tells you.
Fair enough. You've made your point. Bedabrata, if you look at the BJP's perspective, it seems an unprecedented decade of development. Everything seems to have developed at a breathtaking pace. What is your assessment of the work that has been done, and what is your also honest assessment of the challenge that you face as far as Prime Minister Narendra Modi's persona is concerned, because he seems to be the face wherever the elections are taking place? Your take.
I'll answer the last one first.
Sure.
Basically, Prime Minister Modi's persona is only amplified through the media. On the ground, people actually understand what's going on. Okay, now I can't match my friend Rupam in maths, but coming to the ground situation, what we did here, I'm not even going to talk about the issue of preserving our way of life in Assam or in the Northeast because of CA and the other bills. Now, what happens here is in Assam, we are struggling to sell our produce. The farmers are struggling to sell our produce. In Punjab and Kerala, these are states which have population size of Assam approximately. In Punjab, for example, they have approximately 600 cold storages. In Assam, the last count that I made, that was last year, was just 32. Okay. Now, even if a farmer produces he cannot actually sell those. We don't have a market. because, and then we have to just sell it in the local huts for almost nothing. Okay. Now, what have we achieved so far in the last 10 years? We have been told about the river dredging, about the controlling floods, finding a permanent solution to the flood problem. Has any action been taken? Have we taken any action, or have we initiated anything about finding a problem to our rural population, about power? Now, I live in a village now, which is about 25 kilometers to the nearest city or town. In order to get an X-ray, I have to travel 38 kilometers to Jorhat or 24 kilometers to Golaghat. We do not get electricity for almost the entire day. Now, we were promised in 2016 that we would be getting uninterrupted electricity in Assam. This was the promise that was made by the BJP Sarvanand Sonowal. Now, about 5 days back, I counted for 4 days. In 4 days, we had only 52 hours of electricity power cut. Now, that is the situation in Assam. In the tea states of Kerala and Tamil Nadu, the wages for the tea laborers are about 420 and 410. I'm not saying whether the same can be applied here, and whether it is a legitimate issue, and whether we can actually, give that kind of. But we have to start a debate. We need to have a policy where we can uplift those, because tea is one of our main industries, which have made Assam famous for centuries together. So we need to make sure that we do something long term in order to address these issues about their wages, about their living conditions, about their health and education. So these are. Apart from that, of course, preserving our way of life it's almost becoming like a boring. We are not going to go to that. Everyone knows it. Everyone in Assam knows what kind of danger we are posing. There are at least 4 independent studies monitored by Supreme Court that says that by 2051, the indigenous Assamese are going to be minorities in Assam.
We'll come to the issue of CA in a bit as well. Ripunjoy, you heard both the sides. On the one side, there is an ambition of a double-engine government of the BJP, and Rupam listed the key achievement, but there are also some other realities brought to picture. Give us a sense of the transformations that have happened in the past 10 years, and also the question that Bedabrata did not address to a great extent. He simply said it's a media creation. What is the real power of Prime Minister Modi's persona? Could that be the deciding factor, irrespective of where the elections are happening in the Northeast? Very briefly, Ripunjoy.
Yes, Shubhendu, see, Prime Minister, if you talk about the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, he has his own way of addressing issues and taking up issues. His charisma is of different type. He has not addressed a press conference during the last 10 years. That's his own style of governance. Let it be to himself. But the main point is, whatever the BJP or whatever, to be brief, already they have done a lot. We will have to agree on this. Last 10 years, there have been a lot. If I am just concerned about Dibrugarh, Assam and Northeast, they have done a lot. But the fact remains that there are several issues which there has been, I don't know, due to proper monitoring by the center, due to proper lack of proper governance, due to proper local type of monitoring, or something corruption, if you take about that. There has been we have not seen that part of implementation on the ground. Like if you talk about the grass cracker project, it was established by the government of India with assistance from the government of Assam. But the delivery, which it was promised, it has not been able to do till now. Dibrugarh, the government is talking about look east, not now look east, it is act east. But Dibrugarh being the nerve center for the entire state of Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland and Assam, eastern Assam, the airport remains here non-functional after say around 4. If you have an emergency type of landing, you cannot land any big size aircraft here. That is one of the main issues. And we will not have to forget this main issue of the Chinese eye on this part of the region, because that is quite important, because the Chinese had invaded in 1962, although it's not 1962, it's Modi's 2024. There has been a lot of development in the defense sector across the border, and now the ambitious program of Vibrant Village program is also being implemented, for which Arunachal has got the highest allocation. So these are issues, but there has to be a proper mechanism. There has to be a proper mechanism, proper implementation on ground, so that the public can, in actual sense, reap the benefit out of it. What I feel, what my friend Mr. Borah was trying to point it out, yes, the tea garden laborers, earlier the manifesto had said 350, and the Chief Minister of Assam one day comes to the media and says we will give 1 rupees a head, because that was made in the manifesto 351. But now, unfortunately, it's still around 227 or so.
You've highlighted the areas where more focus is required. Let me also welcome on that note, and shall we put our hands together for our fourth guest joining us in the evening today from Aam Aadmi Party, Soumik Sengupta, State Organizing Secretary of Aam Aadmi Party. Soumik, welcome. Bedabrata, you wanted to make a point while so being this. Yes.
Two things. One is about Mr. Modi's persona. Now, I didn't want to sidestep that because I think that's a non-issue. Okay, now he's definitely spot on with communication. You can't beat him on communication skills.
You're calling it a non-issue. I mean, that's not looking at a big challenge that faces your alliance. I mean, calling it a non-issue would mean that it is not important for you to focus on it.
No, it's not. It's not. So let me come to the main part. Performance, personalities, they don't, we have to actually look at the issues on ground. And now Salman Khan, Akshay Kumar, they are great in their performance, but have they improved the quality of films? No. Okay, so something like that. Now about something that is said about the system. Now we don't, you mentioned something about the system, now monitoring system and so on. Now look at this, if you see the media today, if somebody wants to get a specialized treatment or treatment for his near and dear ones, they have to come to the social media, write a post to the CM or someone who is famous, and then they intervene and get help. That should not be there. There should be a system where everyone should get equal opportunity for good healthcare.
Okay, Soumik, welcome to the program. Now, many questions for Aam Aadmi Party. The first one would be that there's something called an India Alliance.
Right.
But it has a different sort of a structure. When we are in Delhi, the structure changes. When we're in Assam, you're taking on Congress in Assam. Help us understand how does this complex alliance works, because it might leave the voters a little confused as to who are we voting. They seem to be fighting somewhere and coming together somewhere else.
It has already left the voters confused.
Yes.
See, actually this alliance was formed as a opposition, united opposition against the BJP. That was the main thing. But later on, many developments happened, and like Nitish Kumar ji had to leave under different circumstances. Like we all know why he had to leave and all this thing.
But you don't tell us, why did you leave the India Alliance in the state? Why are you not here?
No, we didn't left India Alliance in the state because there is no India Alliance in Assam actually. If we see, there is a Biroji Ekko Mancha.
Sure.
Because there are other parties which are not a part of India Alliance. So in that case, we wanted to have a common minimum program and fight BJP altogether with all these 14 parties. But if we see the way the Congress party has acted, and especially the state president of Assam, the way he has acted, and that was clear that he was not giving any room for Aam Aadmi Party at some point, and we were, actually pressurizing them to declare the candidates, but they were dilly-dallying every time. And every time it was like we were discussing and we were
But
discussing.
Soumik, again,
and
when
it
you're
was
sharing about the complexity
Yeah, that is right.
of the alliance. Soumik, I also want to quickly make a point that
Right.
briefly tell us what is your vision for Assam, and while you answer that, also tell us
See.
when your national convener is in jail. I'm not going into the merits of the case here.
Right.
How big a setback is it for Aam Aadmi while it is trying to find new ground in a state like Assam?
See, in Assam, we have been doing the organization, building the organization since last 10 years. And if you remember, in 2022, we contested in the GMC election, Guwahati municipal election, and we got a very good result from them, very good response from the public. That we were in the second place, much above than Congress.
But this is 24. Arvind Kejriwal
Exactly.
continues to be in jail. He hasn't got relief from High
now
Court. What do these signals send for the voter?
See, you see, the whole country knows what is happening now and why the opposition leaders are putting in jail and how in what is the modus operandi of BJP like. So the people know about it. So how much merit does this case have and how much merit does see, everything is allegation. Till now, since 2013, BJP has been putting up a lot of
my question is not the merit of my question is not the merit of the case.
But till date, till not a single case has been proved. And in every case, the law of court has given us a clean sheet.
I take the point,
Okay,
but what is
this
the
is the
political
case.
cost
So
for you
we
in
also-
Assam was my question. But I'll come to you again. Rupam, questions about the manner in which the BJP treats the opposition, allegations of cases against the opposition members, allegations of a certain concept of washing machine, that if the corrupt joins the BJP, they become clean and they become leaders. How would you like to contest that idea?
No, it's not like that. Before that, I just wanted to reply my friend Mr. Borah. He has been alleging lots of things, there are lots of problems. I just wanted to tell him, you go and ask your allies Congress why they have not done all this in their long term of government in Assam or in India. Because after independence, in last 70 years, maximum time Congress is ruling the state as well as the center. So it was the part of the Congress to solve all these issues. After BJP came in power in Assam in 2016, we have addressed lots of problems of the tea gardens. You go to tea garden people, they are big fan of BJP. They are big fan of Modi. They are big fan of Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma. They are big fan of Sarbananda Sonowal.
But has their life transformed? That is the question.
Yes.
Is it going to be transformed ahead?
Yes. We are helping them in lots of ways. In fact, the wages, we have increased their wages. Then Orunodaya scheme is there. LED scheme is there. We have made schools. We have made houses. We have made roads. We have given water supply.
All right, those are the points. The electorate will be the final judge. But let me turn to the audience members now. If you could just raise your hands, those of you who have a question, then we can take those questions from there.
It is true that BJP government has done a lot of things. In case of the educational sector, health sector, they have done a lot. But there are still many things are still to be done. Like in IT sector and manufacturing sectors. IT sectors, we have a large chunk of places are still
in the northeast,
unutilized. So many of our young students are going from here to other places in search of jobs. And being a son of the soil, actually the present government in this particular Dibrugarh district, they should do many things. It can be done. So this is, what is your...
Okay, thank you for the question. So it's an important one. Question of unemployment, especially amongst the educated youths.
You have rightly pointed a very, very important point. No doubt, Rome was not built in a day. So we have just started our journey from 2016 and from 2014 in India. No doubt before that, Bajpayee had a government, but that was also a coalition government. And previously our students, they never thought that by studying, by appearing essays, they can be an SAS officer. Now you have seen in last 2-3 ACS exams, the son of a vegetable vendor, the son of a rickshawala, I have seen all this in through media only.
But the specific questions he also asked about manufacturing and IT sector in the Northeast.
Exactly.
What is the potential and what has been done?
There is a lots of potentiality, but for that we have to develop the infrastructure. Already for IT, some work is going on at Palasbari constituency. So we are really focusing on that too. But definitely one by one, because for that reason you need a very good infrastructure. You have seen the previous, many ACS officers are in jail. Because you know that is the main mechanic, the main backbone of a government. Bureaucrats are the main backbone of the government. If Congress has already broken that backbone.
All right, you've made your point.
No, I just wanted at the same time,
Sure.
I just also wanted to know, my friend, the alliance of Congress, AJP. I had a question. AJP has been formed out of ASU. ASU has given birth to two political parties. One AJP after a long Assam agitation, then after Ka agitation, AJP.
But sir, let's stick
Just-
to
just-
the,
just- just
stick
give
to
me
the
one-
because
one-
we can cover more ground. Then let me
one
actually
minute.
get a, because it's an issue of
let me complete.
unemployment.
Let's
very briefly.
Let's
Yeah.
complete. Let me complete.
Very briefly, sir.
That Congress has killed 855 young blood of Assam in during Assam agitations. And the party AJP, Assam Jatiyo Parishad, they are born out of that agitation of ASU, and now they are alliance of this Congress.
Okay, you made your political point, but AJP and Aam Aadmi Party, because the question was on the issue of unemployment, hugely important for the youth.
For
of the
unemployment,
Northeast.
we have given 1 lakh of employment.
But let me also make a point.
What
Quickly
about-
make a point. Okay, your point. No, no,
2 crore per year employment.
Shomik,
that was promised.
Shomik, present your vision so that people learn
Exactly.
about the issue of unemployment. What do you have to
See,
offer?
the true fact is, today India is facing the highest number of unemployment since independence. There are unemployment everywhere. And
How
there
much
are
employment you have given in
job generation.
Tell us also your
All the
plan.
Your Delhi and Punjab,
Right.
tell me about your Delhi and
Right.
Punjab, please.
Right.
Fair enough. We'll focus on Assam right now, but tell us your plan as well, Shomik.
I'm just telling you. Now, you want to know about the unemployment situation. Right?
No, I want to know about the plan that you have. We know it's a challenge. We want to know what is Aam Aadmi Party's plan to tackle this problem.
First of all, our main goal is to eradicate corruption, which is the root cause of all this underdevelopment and the evils that's happening in this country now. Right? No, there's no point of laughing.
No. Make your point. Make your point. I'm listening. Make your point. Quickly.
So the thing is that what we want to do is a plain and simple, and is seen in Delhi and Punjab. What we're doing, right? We want to stop the pilferage that's happening in the public exchequer. The loan every time you have to take to even to give salary. Whereas you see in Delhi, our budgets are surplus budget. The only state in India that has got a surplus budget.
Attacking the corruption is your primary agenda, and from there.
And then overall development of the people, of the
All right,
state.
you make that point.
By
Quickly.
schools, by hospitals, and everything. What we are doing in Delhi and Punjab.
So that model of Delhi and Punjab, you
Assam.
hope to replicate here in Assam. Bedabrata,
Right.
the question of unemployment,
So-
it's a challenge. BJP says it has done enough. What is your vision and road ahead? That's important.
So enough has to be, should be quantifiable. Okay. Now enough, we have done a lot, is not quantifiable term. Now let me come to what we think. Now government jobs cannot be a solution for joblessness. We have to bring industries, and we have to be wealth creators. There are two ways of going about this. First, I'll just briefly make my points.
Very briefly.
First is we need to bring industry. For that, we need to improve the power situation. We have a lot of skilled and unskilled workers working outside Assam. We can bring them back and then contribute in the state's well-being. Number two, we can focus on creating a robust cooperative system to improve our rural economy. So these are two things very briefly. And secondly, I think there's one more thing that I wanted to respond to him, is that we voted for BJP for development. Now, building roads and flyovers is not development alone. Okay. Now, for that, we need to, if we want to improve the livelihood of our people, we need to have infrastructure development in terms of rural agriculture, irrigation facilities, market accessibility, and so on. Unless we focus on those issues, then we are never going to be a better state. Now, we didn't really vote BJP to, he asked me to go back to the Congress. Now, we didn't vote BJP to listen to the woes of what Congress did in the last 75 years. Okay, we voted BJP to improve our lives, not to listen to what they didn't do.
Fair enough. You made that point and guessed.
I desire to ask Aam Aadmi Party, what is the opinion of Aam Aadmi Party about the CAA?
The question of CAA came up. Now, in the context of Assam, we understand that the issue of CAA becomes uniquely complex, particularly when we look at it with regard to an accord like the Assam Accord, which set up a previous state. Let's get a perspective from each of the leaders here, the manner in which CAA will have a bearing in the elections and their position on it. Let's begin with Aam Aadmi Party and I'll come from there.
We have already stated that we are against CA. Since when, we don't suggest to bring people from outside and give them whatever, like, nationality and whatever, like, facilities, whereas our own countrymen are in a dire state. There's no unemployment. The hunger index is you have seen the hunger index.
All right, but the point is that you oppose CA.
We oppose CA. We oppose CA, okay. and we are not for of bringing foreigners to India and rehabilitate.
Okay, Bedabrata, your take on the complexity in a state like Assam that comes into place with the issue of CA, and what is your position?
See, Assam, we oppose CA, of course. Now, why is the main issue. Now, basically, in Assam, we have small tribes and communities. Some of them which has a population of 2,000, 5,000, with different languages and different dialects, can't understand each other. So we need to preserve those communities. Now, if the government brings CA, then it will be a threat to those communities and to ourselves, our way of life, the way we speak, our language, and so on. So, which is why we oppose the CA.
Okay, Rupam, your take. The government has clarified time and again that CA is not meant to take away citizenship. It is meant to give citizenship, that too to persecuted minorities. But again, in the context of Assam, I'm specifying, are there challenges to the demography of the region that you recognize? How do you address that particular theme in the state?
Look, the CA agitation was totally a misconception of the people, those who have done the agitation. They have not understood the CA properly. They have misguided the people of Assam. Assamese people are very much emotional. Have you seen? We have not seen even in the Assam agitations. They have, tracked down one of our MLA's house totally. They have damaged lots of public properties.
But they've also loved you, supported you for years.
Look, so what not? But now CA rules have been come up. There is only one application from Barak Valley. At that time, our Shubhendu was the Chief Minister of Assam. He was repeatedly telling that not a single person will come from Bangladesh. But they have, the people who has opposed this CA, it is totally a political motivated. Congress, they have opposed CA in Assam, in Brahmaputra Valley, and they have supported at Barak Valley.
So you don't see any challenges?
That was the CAA stand of Congress. After CAA, we win.
Your stand that there is no demographic challenge to
not at all
of the country.
Not at all.
Okay, let's again turn to the audience members.
Recently, that has India became the cancer capital of the world. What is everyone's view on that? And that the medicines related to cancer, especially, and other diseases as well, why is they are so highly overpriced? Thank you.
Thank you very much for that question. Quickly, very briefly, we'll take a point. Concerns about health, in particular the cancer rates and the expenses of the medicines. What can be done?
Already, Government of India and Assam has given, schemes for the BPL people, 5 lakhs, that scheme of Prime Minister
Ayushman Bharat. But here the question is specifically on cancer drugs and their costs.
So, in that way, the people gets relief from that, number one. Number two, the price of mechanism is not fixed by the government. It is a totally, purely non-governmental agency. So that is a wrong concept. The people are telling price. Government never fix any price.
But the government can give
But the question
subsidies.
is, can there be an intervention?
Subsidies.
Yeah, we are giving.
When the government can dole out so much of free schemes, so much of 5 kgs of rice, so much of cylinders, why can't government form a mechanism to subsidize the most important drug, cancer drug?
So can there be an intervention? Let me also get a quick comment from.
We are coming with generic. People should use generic.
Rupam, you made your point. You made your point, but the
More
question
than
was specific.
900 types of medicines prices have
Ripunjoy,
been
thank you
raised.
for that input. Very briefly, Aam Aadmi Party, again, can we stay clear to the question that was asked by the lady?
Since
What can you do?
this 1st April, the medicine price has increased. Everyone knows that, and it has increased to a huge extent. Some
More than
40%.
25%.
That we know.
Yeah.
What kind of intervention can you
Now,
make?
Aam Aadmi Party is a party which provides a health care totally free and world-class health care. Even a person who is having a cancer is entitled to get totally
That
free.
Assam is also giving free.
No, he was talking
Assam is
about
also giving free,
he was
not
talking
to
about
everybody.
Ayushman card.
He is
No,
talking
Ayushman
about
card.
what we
No,
should do.
you
He is
Ayushman
specifically
card
talking about
knows the
that.
reality very well.
I think the question.
Whenever you go to a hospital and use a card, Ayushman card, 50% of that payment you have to pay.
Okay,
But
you-
don't.
No, in Assam you don't need to.
No,
In Assam you don't need to pay. Sir, you don't know about Assam. In Assam you don't
You
need to
made your
pay.
point.
Don't
that
give
we
force
are sitting in front of people from Assam. They know the reality.
I think the
Bedabrata, just briefly your point.
I think the question has been misconstrued. She's talking specifically about medicine cost for cancer treatment.
Absolutely.
I think what the government can do is they can intervene in terms of promoting more generic drugs in this segment of treatment. Now, if you see, the cost of drugs have increased by almost 150 to 300% in the recent 3 to 4 months. Now, in these kind of expensive treatments, the government should and must intervene because it is about the health. Health and education must be in the realms of intervention of the government. They must.
All right, and finally, we're almost out of time, but there's one aspect which is hugely important.
No, you are not giving me scope to reply. You are not possible. You have to give me.
No, Rupam, you're the first person to reply.
What if because they are asking me, no? I have
You get the first chance to reply.
You are not doing fair. You are not doing fair. You are not doing fair. Sir, you are not doing fair.
The government
You have to give me time to answer.
There's absolutely no reason for talk together. One second. One second. Okay, very briefly, Rupam, make your point, but in very brief. I have less than 30 seconds for the next question. Your point.
No.
Very brief.
Look, in Assam, education is free, medical is free, your admission is free, then your for the youth, there are lots of SWAM scheme is there. Everywhere there are schemes and promotional activities from the side of government to uplift every people.
Fine, you make your point.
Sabka Vikas.
You make your point.
So this is happening
Rupam,
in
but then
Assam.
Again, you then tell
So
me that I'm not
definitely
giving
you
you a
speak
chance
a
to
very
answer
good
my
point
question.
about
Fair
the
enough,
cancer
fair
price. Definitely government will do something on it too for the upper class people.
Fair enough.
For lower class people, BPL, middle class, there is lots of scheme where you can avail a free treatment for cancer.
You acknowledge the program, but before we close, it's very important for us to look at one particular electorate, hugely important in Assam. We should come to that very briefly. The tea plantation workers and their welfare, working from morning to night, extremely hard-working profession. Very briefly from each one of you, what do you have to offer to make their life better? Rupam, I'm giving you the first chance. Again, your point.
Already we are into it. The tea garden laborers, they love Modi ji, Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma, Sarvando Sonowal very much. We are very confident to win their heart, to get their blessings. In Assam, there are 14 seats. Out of 14, we'll get 13 seats. In Northeast, there are 25 seats. Out of 25, we will get 22 seats.
Very confident of the love of the tea garden people.
No, why have you failed to keep your poll promise?
But Ripunjoy, we will not take the conflict.
Just one point.
Right
just I have one point.
I'll come to you. Let me
why did the BJP fail to make it 350?
All right.
Daily wages.
We'll try and cover that. But Bedabrata,
Okay,
your point for tea garden workers, your interventions, very brief.
So the tea gardens are not just an industry for us; it is also a pride for the state.
Sure.
Okay. Now we have to, in order to preserve that, we have to preserve or uplift the living conditions of the tea workers in terms of wages, in terms of their healthcare, their living conditions. If you, maybe we have done a lot, the government has done a lot, but if you go visit any tea garden, the labor lines, you will see the conditions they live in, and what kind of education their children are getting. The people see that. I mean, on the ground, the tea workers, they know what's going on.
Okay. Okay. Soumik, very briefly, your point, and what can you do?
With 250 rupees of wage, daily wage, do you think it is possible to survive in
227.
In today's,
227.
227. 227 rupees. Can a person survive, a family survive?
What do you offer?
We are offering 450 rupees. Today also we have declared, if we come to power, we will be straight for, because Delhi has the highest daily wage, 650 rupees. That is the highest in the country.
Okay.
We have promised we'll give 450 rupees per day.
Okay, you made your point. Ripunjoy, sorry to cut you short earlier. Very briefly, if you could just conclude in the manner in which the Tea Plantation workers
they are the backbone of the industry in Assam. 55% tea produced all over India is from Assam only. And if you talk about this Eastern Assam belt, again, I am talking about, since this discussion is related to Dibrugarh Lok Sabha seat. Dibrugarh Lok Sabha seat is the highest producer of tea in the world, entire world. So it's a 200-year-old industry. So all the political parties will have their own say. But the main point is that nobody cares to address their critical issue of daily wage, and several issues are there. You don't have to, if you count about Dibrugarh and Tinsukia, there are 350 registered tea gardens out of 1,000 tea gardens in Assam.
But in
that 350 tea gardens, hospitals, you will find only 25 doctors in this area.
Okay.
So that is quite important issue which needs to be addressed by all the political parties. I am again repeating that BJP has done a lot. They have brought in many schemes which is improving the lifestyle of the people in the tea garden areas also. Education particularly, model schools have been built up.
But the
infrastructure has to be supplemented by the monitoring mechanism. That is the key issue.
We hear you, and thank you for bringing that to light. And that's all the time we had in this edition of Poll Pulse. I wish we could continue the engagement, but that's all the time we had. Let me quickly thank Rupam Goswami from the BJP. Shall we also put our hands together for the panelists who put forth their views frankly. Bedabrata, Borah from the AJP, thank you for joining us. Ripunjoy, thank you for being an ally in the program. And from the Aam Aadmi Party, Soumik, Sengupta, thanks very much for joining us. Thank you also to all the audience members. Please put your hands together for yourself for the questions that you ask. Here's a gentle appeal. Please do vote on the election day so the largest elections in the world also become the most vibrant. On that note, we take your leave from Dibrugarh. In the next edition of Poll Pulse, we'll bring you more stories and more insights. But for now, we conclude. Namaskar.